people, are you ready? Windies in the land, just put up your hand. It's time to...
It's South Africa 3, the West Indies 2. The Windies have lost the CG Insurance series in the T20s following the Betway Test series, which they lost 2-0, and they're still looking for some solace at home. I'm Barry Wilkinson. Welcome to On Tour. The Windies, of course, going down today in a familiar fashion where their batting that has been troubling them all season continue to hamper them when it mattered most. It was the final match. The series was level at 2-2 after the passing of Hurricane Elsa. There was even a thought that there might not be any cricket, but lo and behold, wonderful conditions, or at least conditions that were good enough to play. And the Windies lost the toss on this occasion. Let's have a look at the scorecard. The South Africans there batting first, and they made 168 for 4. That has been the par score. 164, 167, 168 today. Adam Markram making 70, and the very consistent Quinton de Kock. He's batted very well for the Test and the T20s. He made 60. Fidel Edwards looked the part today. He got 2 for 19. Didn't get up to 85 or 86 miles perhaps per hour, but he got up there, perhaps just about 84, 83 at some stages, and still looked like if he was bowling with some life. The Windies didn't get to the tape. They fell short at 143 for 9. With Evan Lewis yet again top scoring with 52, Shimron Hetmar getting 33. Shamsi got 1 for 11. He was not the leading wicket taker, but he bowled extremely well in his 4 overs. It was Ngidi who got 3 for 32 that he led the way with the wickets. So the Windies going down, and with that, the hopes and, of course, the fans who were looking forward to what might have been a victory, but it was not to be. Let's go straight to the panel. We've got Sir Clive Lloyd, Johnny Barron, and Tino Best. Sir Clive, your thoughts on the match and indeed the series that the West Indies lost?
Well, I thought probably today that South Africa were probably 10 runs or 50 runs short because we were, so 160 was the, as you say, the par score. But there again, the bowlers brought them back into the game, and the batters just faltered. And I think, I'm wondering with the team selection, why is someone like Mayer's not playing? He can bowl, he can bat, he's a good strike of the ball. I thought this series, with 5 T20 games, that they would have improvised and tried other people. Why are we trying Gale again? Is what we don't know about Gale. Try some of the youngsters. If you think that Hetmeyer and Puran are the best players around, put them up there. Let them bat early. Let them get more overs in. Let's see what they have. And I think the selection of the team, sometimes left a lot to be desired.
Tino, do you agree with Sir Clive?
Yeah, I can't go against the great man. He's always speaking the right stuff. Look, really and truly, look, I thought it was a series for the West Indies for me to actually look at players and see what is their contribution coming in to West Indies cricket at this point in the career. I think I got to give full marks to Dwayne Bravo. The only thing about Bravo is that his batting has fallen off so badly, and I know he's a better batter than that. I've played a lot of cricket with him. And look, Pollard captaincy at stages it lacked imagination. But that's something that he has to continue to work on. At the end of the day, he's not God. He can't tell a bowler to bowl and he gets wickets. But I think the West Indies, they look bad. It still left a lot to be desired, Barry. But I wouldn't say it was the worst series ever.
Johnny, I asked you this question from a two-fold perspective, South African and West Indian. The West Indies, for all of the high ratings of their individual players, are still lowly ranked. How do you see the series as it ended in terms of the international rankings? The West Indies are still the world champions, but the South Africans must feel now that they've got one up on them as they move forward, heading into that World Cup in October.
Yeah, Barry, I think it's really interesting. I think you're right about the West Indies being lowly ranked, but they are world champions, and that's a key factor. And I think a lot of the narrative over here in the UK is kind of likening this West Indies side to the Michael Jordan-inspired side that won the championship, the Last Dance documentary over on Netflix, if you like, taking a sort of parallel with that extraordinary basketball journey. The big question is whether they can go into this championship, the T20 Championship, in the UAE and perform and pull it off. They still have the talent. I think what was really telling actually is what Kieran Pollard said at the end of the game. He said that, cricket doesn't play on paper. And I think he's looking at this side, and the suggestion is, are people playing to their full potential? Has he been given the tools to win this championship? Is that the side that he wants? And who else is going to come in it? I think Clive makes an interesting point about, the Bucks like Pooran, who are down the order. They need to, and Hitmire, they need to be given an opportunity to have a crack at that new ball, to take on the power play. That's where often these battles are won. I think it's really, really interesting to see whether they've got the firepower to go into that World Cup and whether they've got the tools to win it. The problem really is their ability or lack of ability of playing spin in those middle overs. Shamsi just completely turned the screw throughout the course of the series, only going for 4 and over. And that remained a real problem throughout. It was those middle overs that was the real killer for them.
I have to ask you this question, Sir Clive Lloyd. Is the team overrated?
I wouldn't say overrated. I think that we have so many players of the same type. They're not too many better than one another. Such, we need to have a settled side. If we have all these young guys who are being, they're playing all over the world really in this T20 game, they must be good. So why not give them a chance to bat further up? Really, and if we have the right sort of batting lineup, we will make enough runs and win games, because the bowlers are doing their job, and I find it very difficult that if I have said it before, if 7 batsmen can do it, 8 wouldn't. We seem to have more batters than we need. When Bravo's coming that late, really, it's a waste of time. The guys further up, when they get to 40s and 50s, and I said that at the last game, when you get to 30 and 40, you got to do like the South Africans have done, 70s and 60s. We're all getting out at 50s and 40s, so we're not carrying on. So you're putting pressure, really. When you should have batted, they should have batted through the innings. Nobody was getting them out, but we still looking to hit 6s. And the game is not about 6s. It's about, building in innings and staying there until the end.
Johnny, you look at the game today, and Aidan Markram's 70 was a brilliant innings. How do you view it? 168 for 4.
Yeah, I think Markram had a pretty good series. He averaged 37 throughout, and alongside de Kock, de Kock was just imperious. He was imperious in the Test series. He's been imperious here, and he's been these guys alongside Shamsi and an improved performance by Ngidi and Rabada, have been the cornerstones of South Africa. But I think Markram was impressive today, and that second wicket partnership of 128, went a long way for South Africa getting a really competitive total today.
Tino, Fida Edwards didn't bowl express fast, but he actually had a much improved performance today. What did he do more that was so impressive today in your books?
Getting wickets, Barry. We get picked to get wickets. I thought he bowled a lot better today. He was a little lively, as you alluded to early in the show. I was impressed, and that is what you expect from Fidel. You're 39 years old. Whenever the opportunity comes, you have to perform, because the first body they look to get rid of is an old pacer. And I all know that story. When you don't perform, the guys get rid of you. So I think that Sir Clay hit so much points there. Barry is absolutely correct. Look, we guys are just not progressing. They're not understanding innings, and they're not using their brains. And when they get 30 and 40, you don't have to hit boundaries to make runs. you get the tools, hit the ball in the gaps. Look at the dot balls today. The dot balls today kill us again. And I'm just seconding what Sir Clay was saying.
Evan Lewis, Sir Clive Lloyd, he has been the bright spark. If there was a major positive for West Indies, Evan Lewis was that bright spark throughout this entire T20 series.
Yes, I'm wondering why he's not playing Test cricket. I saw this guy made 130 at the Oval a couple of years ago. It was a terrific innings. And he batted, he struck the ball nicely on the ground. He pierced the field. He wasn't trying to slug anything. And then all of a sudden, all that has gone. He is getting to 40s, and if you're opening the batting in a 20 over and you get to 40s, you've got to get to 70s and 60s. De Kock and Markham won the game for them. One got 17, the other one got 6, got 130. So if the rest could put 40 together, then you have a total to defend. And I thought that when you look at this South African, there are a lot of inexperience in that side. They're not a settled side yet. They're a side that is sort of on the, they're trying to wend their way up to the top, but they've outplayed us in our backyard. And I think that, we should be putting up a much better performance when we're playing at home.
You're watching On Tour. When we come back, your thoughts, your views, your voice. When we come back.
To the top, it's time to jump up. People, are you ready? Windies in the land, just put up your hand. It's time to the top, it's time to jump up. People, are you ready? Windies in the land, just put up your hand. It's time to...
Welcome back then to On Tour. As we come back, we want to hear from you. On the screen is the number to send us your WhatsApp messages. You can also send us a voice note or even a short video of yourself telling us what you think about the West Indies T20 series. I'd love to hear from you. I got a note today from someone who sent me a message from Guyana and said, Barry, this video is not long enough. I just did a 3-minute video, but it's not long enough, and that's why it did not send. So he sent me a voice note. Let's take in a couple of voice notes and see what the fans are saying. What are the fans thinking about this West Indies team? Let's hear a couple of voice notes.
West Indies cricketers presently has the best hitters in the game. In 12 overs, West Indies fell 1 run short of the South African score. That meaning that they used 12 over to hit 165 runs, 48 dot balls, no head cricket. I do not know what is happening in that dressing room. I don't know what the coach is saying to these cricketers. I don't know if they are telling them the right thing. But where is Desmond Haynes, the two best opener? Where is Andy Roberts, one of the most serious bowler ever hold a cricket ball? Where is Viv Richards, the master blaster? Where is Brian Lara, the best left-handed batsman the cricket game might ever know? Where? We have one of the greatest batsmen in the world. And we have a set of player only playing for money. Look at Kohli. Look at some of these men who play Test cricket, one days, and T20, and T10. They are good in every one of the game. And Phil Wallace is telling me that he does not see any of these current cricketers good enough to play Test cricket. Lick his head. Look at Australia. Look at New Zealand. Look at England. You have men who can play all three formats. And you're saying that we have nobody in this current team apart from Jesse Wooler who can play all three formats. They take out Jesse Wooler then and make him only play the red ball cricket. But the reason why we are losing is that we are not good. We're just mentally weak.
So I am Ryan from Jamaica. So this team that we have right now in the series against South Africa, it is somewhat disappointing to see West Indies losing with a team like that. It is a team that can be worked with. However, we need our players to be more self-reliant, right? And play the natural game. If you check the stats of West Indies cricket overall too many times over the years since I'm watching West Indies cricket, our players are being dismissed by catches. This is not a baseball game. This is not a catching practice. West Indies players need to play the ball on the ground, get some balls in the gap, and get the runs up and running for us. So I mean, the team is good, but our team, the West Indies, to come back. We need to finish in the top 5 across all formats. And if not all formats, then what about the one days and the T20s? Because we're known as being big hitters. But the test team is ranked number 6 now. So let's work on the other parts and see what we can do before the World Cup comes.
All right, wonderful stuff. I love those voice notes. Send the voice notes, send the messages. We want to hear what you think about West Indies cricket, and we will, of course, continue as we go on tour with your thoughts. You are a very integral part, the viewers, of this program. When we come back, we'll hear from the West Indies captain and the South African captain. Of course, it's a tale of two sides. When we come back on tour.
To the top, it's time to jump up. People, are you ready? Windies in the land, just put up your hand. It's time to the top, it's time to jump up. People, are you ready? Windies in the land, just put up your hand.
Welcome back. Time to hear from the captains. We'll start first of all with the losing captain from the West Indies team. Of course, it's Kyron Pollard.
Yeah, I guess you're disappointed, and I guess at the halfway mark, you would have fancied your chances today.
Yeah, of course. That 160 or total throughout the series, seems like a winning total. Both teams trying to chase it down. We had 3 opportunities to try to chase 160, and we couldn't get over the line. I think the most disappointing thing is that we keep making the same mistakes over and over and over, and that's the definition of insanity.
And the hamstring, I mean, I know you're not going to say that had anything to do with the result. I know you well enough to know you're not going to blame that, but it didn't help things.
Obviously not. It is what it is, trying to go for a quick single, the sniper up in the hills there, caught me straight on my left leg. But, having said that, I thought, we set up the game, pretty well at the 14 over mark, needed 67 and 40 deliveries with guys in the shed. More often than not, you win games like that on a pitch like this, knowing fully well that one of their main bowlers didn't play, which is Norke, who has been doing fantastic for them. So again, that's the disappointing factor, that guys didn't take the opportunity this time to show that we actually learned from what transpired throughout the entire series. So we'll have some introspection. To do, guys need to look at themselves and what they have to offer for us. And this series was a good eye opener to show that yes, cricket doesn't play on paper.
And what about the positives as far as you're concerned?
First of all, one of the positives, well played to South Africa, well played to Quinton. I think he was, fantastic, for them throughout the entire series. And the way how they came out, after that first game, you saw the determination and the change, the momentum, of the series. So that's a positive for them. So well done, to them. On our side, obviously the young bowlers, McCoy, bowling well throughout the entire series. That sort of consistency. Sinclair in a couple of games, that he played, Brav, coming time and time again in all 5 games. I think was fantastic. The disappointing factor, as I said, is our batting unit. That 2 series in a row, we weren't able, to look like, we would have learned, much from what has transpired. So, as I said, it is what it is. It's good that we can have these sort of outings, and, hopefully we can, regroup, because in about 5 or 6 days' time, we have the Australians in the Caribbean. So, not much time. But at the end of the day, someone has to win, someone has to lose, and South Africa were definitely better than us throughout the entire series.
And just finally, we're not too far away from that World Cup, T20 World Cup getting underway. How much is your squad, in your mind, firming?
It's there and thereabouts. Obviously, yes, there's some areas, to be filled. There's a couple of guys who we might have to look at, by force because of what has transpired. But, for us, we have an idea of, what we want to do. But, these series are very, very important. You got to show that we actually want it as individuals. And, guys selected now, obviously, is not the be-all and end-all, and the ones who are actually going to take, that plane. So I like to deal with the present. So for us now, South Africa series is done. We have another series here, and the World Cup is in October. a couple years ago or the last year or so, we were planning for a World Cup and it didn't play. So let's not plan too far ahead and let's deal with what's in present and what's in front of us.
You have got to be absolutely delighted with this trophy.
Yeah, very delighted. I think it's been an incredible effort from the boys. You know, it's been a hard fought out cricket there for us. We were put under pressure from day one, from the first game, and you know, I think we got to commend ourselves in our ability to bounce back. I think the West Indian side again, they've cemented themselves as the favourites for the world champions. So I think come the World Cup, it should be a lovely one to watch.
So what sort of feeling does this do to your squad, to your change room, winning this trophy, winning this series?
Yeah, I think it can only boost our confidence. Like I said, as a team, we haven't won much series away from home. I mean, it started with the test, and we knew as the T20 boys we had to kind of follow it up, and we were happy to do that. And obviously, looking forward, looking at the big World Cup, that gives us confidence again. But also believe that, we are able to adapt to whatever conditions are upon us.
All right, so we've heard from the fans, we've heard from the captains, and we've heard from the experts. Last word with them. Gentlemen, we play Australia next. It's also going to be a stern test, even if they're not bringing their strongest team. Tino, how do you see that series with the West Indies and Australia in the T20s? And also, we can't forget, we're also playing some one-day internationals.
Yeah, I see the West Indies doing well in the T20s once again, being competitive. And getting it right. And look, Barry, I'm a West Indian, and I'm always going to back the boys. I just want to see the guys execute more. And once they can execute more, I think that they're going to be more competitive. They just got to make sure that they select the right 11, Barry. And what I must say is, look, we got to find. I love Pooran, but look, Pooran needs some time away. Or just sitting on the bench to watch cricket to get back that hunger. I don't see that hunger. You got to get Fletcher in the setup. That's the honest truth. Really and truly, I think West Indies be competitive. The one-day cricket, I've seen the West Indies still being competitive. And look, I believe in these boys. And once they execute, Barry, they just got to work hard and just don't play, as they say, cricket don't play on paper. They've got to go out there and perform.
Johnny, how do you see Australia, West Indies? There's no Labuschagne, there's no Steve Smith, there's no David Warner. Is this a chance for the West Indies to win?
Yeah, it's very much a chance for the West Indies to win. I'd never underestimate Australia, though. They're a dangerous side. They've got a lot of resources and they've got a lot of strength and depth. What I would say is I don't think there's any major need for the West Indies to panic. First of all, possibly some rejigging of that batting order, but actually the bowling largely was really impressed. And Obed Mackay, my word, how brilliant was he? 9 wickets in the series, just going at sevens, and DJ Bravo as well, 10 wickets in the series, just like a fine wine, gets better and better and better. They're not a million miles away, the West Indies. Will be fascinating with Australia, but there are bigger challenges ahead.
Last word with you, Sir Clive Lloyd.
Well, yes, I think that, it's unfortunate that the Australians are not bringing 7 of their top players. I hope they're not thinking that we're not worthy of a top Australian side. But on whatever side they bring here, we will have to confront, and we have to try and play better cricket. Our batting is letting us down. We have to try and get the right combination. And if they do so, I'm sure that we will give a very good account of ourselves, because our bowling is good enough. Our feeling is getting there. But the point is that I think it will be keenly contested, and I'm hoping that we show a little bit more strength in the way we are batting, and a little bit more intelligence in our stroke play, because some of our shots have been, shot selection has been pretty poor on this tour.
Thank you so much, Sir Clive Lloyd, Johnny Barron and Tino Best. You've been watching On Tour. It's been a long series, 15 days, and we're going to take a break. Of course, the first T20 comes a-calling on the 9th of July, and that's when the Australians will play against the West Indies. We hope it's going to be a competitive series. For the fans' sake in the West Indies, we hope it's going to be a winning one. I'm Barry Wilkinson. Thank you for joining me on tour. On behalf of all the guys and our executive producer, Rivelino Simmons, I'm Barry Wilkinson saying bye-bye for now.
West Indies. Sure. people, are you ready? When